Part 11. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 101. 8 Gates Dungia Formation. Open. As Luffy roared, blood-red steam appeared all over his body. Armed-colored haki covered his whole body. The pitch-black body, combined with the blood-red steam. He was like a demon. Chopper. Ace is left to you. Save him. Luffy's voice was hoarse. I will definitely save Ace. Chopper said and immediately turned into a human form, with all the power of his palm technique. Luffy turned to look at the masked man in front of him. Without saying a word, he slowly raised his feet. Overdrawing the power of life? Nice, but no. Boom. The air cannon visible to the naked eye directly knocked the masked man away. Luffy also disappeared where he was. Not good. The masked man felt that his internal organs were about to be broken. Armed with iron. 2. Boom. The powerful air cannon hit the masked man from above. A large bottomless hole was blasted out of the ground. Marinefando began to shake continuously, as if he was about to sink. But Luffy seemed not to seeing the same thing. He continued to attack the masked man crazily. 3. Boom. The air cannon rushed into the sky. The clouds in the sky were blown away. The masked man no longer had any consciousness. Luffy also reached the limit, and his body was armed. The domineering color also began to fade. 4. Boom. A powerful air cannon fell from the sky. The masked man was directly blasted into the ground and disappeared without a trace. Marinefando also began to shake violently. The ground began to collapse and collapse. And Luffy in the air turned into a child, with blood all over his body. Kaido. Today's fight will end here. I'll go find you next time. Baiyu said, regardless of whether Kaido agreed or not. He disappeared instantly and held Luffy in the air. Silly boy. Baiyu shook his head, activated his palm immortal technique, and began to treat Luffy. Fortunately, Luffy protected his whole body with armament haki. Moreover, coupled with his rubbery physique and strong vitality, he did not die suddenly on the spot. However, even so, Luffy would have to travel for at least a month or two. It will take even longer to fully recover. Chopper. Bring Ace. We walked. Baiyu shouted. Marinefando will collapse soon. There is no point in continuing to fight. Moreover, the super strength that Luffy unleashed when he opened the 8-gate armor formation also shocked everyone on the battlefield. Human. This is already beyond the limit of human power. No one present dared to say that they could survive the attack just now. No one stopped the Straw Hats from leaving. The fighting on the battlefield also stopped. Come down. If we continue to fight, we will sink into the sea with Marinefando. At this time, a large pirate ship sailed into the bay. Red-haired pirates. What is it today? 3 Yonko appeared. Do we still need to fight? Beat the ass. You don't want your life. The red hair is here too. This war is getting more and more interesting. The only thing missing is that Auntie didn't come, otherwise the 4 emperors of the New World would be here. Whether it's the navy or the pirates. Everyone is very shocked when they see the appearance of the red-haired pirates. Everyone. Enough people have died in this war. Everyone, give me some face. The battle is over. If anyone wants to continue fighting, I will fight with you. The red-haired Shanks drew the western sword from his waist and swept the whole place with domineering eyes. But when he saw Kaido, he was stunned. Why is this madman here? The old man with the white beard and the others should have fought enough, and they had just seen that horrific battle, and they were not in the mood to fight now. Kaido said, looking at Shanks, shaking the mace in his hand, I haven't fought enough, how about you fight with me? Shanks, you came just in time. You came a little later and the battle was over. That's it, I leave this place to you. Let's go. Everyone, see you in the new world. Baiyu mocked Shanks and was about to leave. Wait a moment. Baiyu. You must hand over the remaining drawings. Stussy shouted loudly. Are you talking about this? Baiyu took out the blueprint and threw it out with all his strength. Here you go. Quick. Stussy shouted, and all the members of the CP organization immediately rushed to the drawings. Baiyu glanced at Enelu, and the two of them raised their hands in tacit understanding. Divine punishment. Boom. Boom. Streams of thunder soared into the sky. All members of the CP organization were wiped out, and all drawings were completely destroyed by lightning. What a terrifying destructive power. Shanks was shocked. He couldn't help but think, what kind of monster partner did Luffy find? Two wings appeared on both sides of the Banley Sunshine. Boom. There was a loud noise. The Banley Sunshine soared into the sky and flew into the sky. Whitebeard. This time you win. Warring States gritted his teeth and said. Goo la la la, we are all losers, the Straw Hats are the real winners. Whitebeard laughed, turned around and jumped on his boat. Kids. Back to the new world. Roar. The members of the Whitebeard pirates also began to board the ship and leave. Marshal of the Warring States period. Just let them leave. A lieutenant general said very unwillingly. If you don't leave, why don't you continue fighting? Warring States sighed. At this moment, he seemed to have aged more than 10 years, everyone. The war is over. Treat the wounded. No fun, let's go drink. Kaido transformed into a blue dragon and soared into the sky and disappeared. Red hair. Garp roared angrily. Mr. Carp. Boom. Garp goes up and punches him. The crew behind the red hair was about to take action immediately. The red-haired man stopped him quickly. Get out. Garp shouted coldly, showing no face at all. Now that everything is fine, I will go back and prepare. The world is going to be in chaos. The red-haired man wiped the corner of his mouth, turned around and left. Yes, the world is going to be in chaos. Garp sighed. The Navy suffered heavy losses this time, not only more than half of the 100,000 elite Navy were killed or injured. The most important thing was the loss of an admiral. Originally, the Navy was not powerful enough in the New World, and now it has one less admiral. Without naval suppression at sea, the world would not be in chaos. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 102. News of the Navy's defeat soon spread throughout the world. The pirates were naturally very excited. After tea and dinner, we discussed matters related to the war. The Whitebeard pirates themselves are one of the 4 emperors, and everyone knows that they are powerful. Even if he defeated the Navy, no one else would be surprised. After all, Whitebeard is the strongest man in the world. But as the new members of the Straw Hat Pirates, it has become the focus of discussion among people after dinner. The Straw Hats are also known as the 5th Emperor of the New World. This is also the first pirate group to become emperor before entering the New World. At this time, the Straw Hat Pirates were on their way to the Shampoo Islands. During this period, they sailed very slowly, mainly recovering from injuries. After several days of repairs, the injured people have basically recovered. Luffy also woke up, but he still couldn't move, his whole body was tied up like a mummy with gauze. Although Ace's injury was serious, it still required a lot of pain compared to Luffy's injury. With the combined treatment of Chopper's medical skills, palm magic, and Meili's ghost skills, recovery was also very fast. Ace, just stay with our pirate team. Although Luffy can't move his body, he can talk and eat without any delay. Ace opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. This time he was rescued thanks to this group of people. And he also knew that after he was seriously injured, Luffy almost died for him. In his heart, he was very grateful to the people of the Straw Hats. And the atmosphere of the Straw Hats is indeed very good, and he likes it very much. But in his heart he still missed his father and his friends. Okay, I know what you're thinking. We won't force you to join. Although I said I wanted you to join the pirate group to save you at the time, but haven't I also saved you now? Bye. You looked at the troubled Ace and shook his head. If you want to leave, we won't stop you. But are you sure that what you want is what Whitebeard wants? Ace wholeheartedly wants Whitebeard to become the Pirate King. But if Whitebeard had been willing, he would have become the king already. What Whitebeard wants is very simple, family. That's why he is willing to give up everything to rescue Ace. But Ace himself doesn't understand this. No matter what, I will go back. Thank you for helping me. I will never forget this kindness. Ace bowed and thanked Bayou very solemnly. I only saved you because of the captain's order. If you want to thank me, just thank your silly brother. By the way, as a parting gift, I can tell you another piece of good news. Bayou shook his head. He had no interest in these verbal thanks. What good news? Ace asked curiously. Your sworn brother, Sabo, is still alive and working under Daddy Luffy now. Bayou told two people the news about Sab. What? Luffy's eyes immediately widened with shock on their faces. He lost his memory at the beginning, so he never looked for you. Now, I guess he will soon regain his memory. Bayou explained. Sab. Very good. Luffy cried excitedly. Ace's eyes were also red. Thank you for telling me the news. I'll leave now. I'll have a chance to meet you in the new world. Good. Bayou nodded and didn't say much. Although the natural ability is very good, he really doesn't think much of it now. He already has enough skills. He also understands the principle of biting off more than he can chew. Jinbei, won't you come with me? Ace asked. No, I want to stay here, they still lack a helmsman. Jinbei shook his head and decided to stay and join the Straw Hats. From now on, I will ask you to take good care of my younger brother. Ace smiled slightly. With a steady person like Jinbei around, he felt much more at ease. Everyone, I'm leaving now. I'll be waiting for you in the new world. Ace said and looked at Luffy. You should listen more to Bayou and Jinbei in the future, and don't be too willful. Well, Ace, when I get better, I will go to the new world to find you. Luffy's eyes were very firm. Ace, this is the medicine you need to take. Your wound has not fully recovered yet. Don't forget to take the medicine. Try to avoid fighting. Chopper took out a small package and handed it to Ace. Thank you dear Chopper, you are the best doctor I have ever seen. Ace smiled and took the medicine handed over by Chopper. Bastard, even if you praise me, I won't be happy. Chopper danced so happily that he still looked very stubborn. Everyone looked at Chopper and laughed. Goodbye, everyone. As he said that, he jumped on the boat and left in a dashing way. Jinbei, welcome to join the Straw Hat Pirates. Bayou stretched out his hand with a smile. Thanks. Jinbei stretched out his thick hand and shook it with Bayou. We have a new partner, and I propose a party to celebrate. Bayou is in a good mood. Now that he has obtained Jinbei's ability, his strength has improved a lot again. The most important thing is that Jinbei's exclusive skills are also very powerful. Water Release Ninjutsu, a powerful ninjutsu from the world of Naruto. Due to different world rules, the skill effects have changed. Please explore it yourself for details. If it were in other places, water escape ninjutsu would not be considered powerful. But in this vast sea, there is still a fishman who has mastered water escape. Needless to say, it's powerful, right? Thank you, Vice Captain. Please forgive me, I have one more request. After Jinbei received the skill, he bowed and thanked. You want to talk about Fishman Island? Don't worry. Baiyu knows what Jinbei is worried about. They are going to the New World, and Fishman Island is a must-go. Mermaid Princess, one of the three beauties in the pirate world, is also one of the three ancient weapons, Shirahoshi. It was bound to be one. Jinbei didn't say anything else, he raised his wine glass and toasted to Baiyu. After more than 10 days of slow sailing, he finally arrived at the Chambord Islands. Although Luffy's injury has not fully recovered, as long as it is not fighting, there will be no any questions. Baiyu also wants to meet the legendary pirate, the vice captain of One Piece, Pluto Rayleigh. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 103. Because of the war on top. The power of the Navy was greatly weakened, causing the place to become almost a lawless place. Many pirates even united to destroy the naval branch stationed in Champu. Everyone is free to move around, but we still need to keep a low profile and not cause any disturbance. After the purchase is completed, we will go directly to Fishman Island. Baiyu doesn't want to stay here. The New World is his goal. Everyone nodded and couldn't wait to land. Jinbei, why don't you go down for a walk? Baiyu looked at Jinbei and said. With the chaos here now, there must always be someone left to guard the ship. Jinbei said. Don't worry, Meili is here and everything will be fine. Meili. By the way, you may not know that Meili is a physical ship spirit. She doesn't like communicating with strangers, but with her on the ship, no one can get on our ship. Baiyu explained. Ship spirit. Jinbei's eyes widened. He knew the legend of the ship spirit, but he never thought that the little girl he was getting along with during this period turned out to be the ship spirit. Come on, come with me, I will take you to meet two interesting people. Baiyu smiled and said. Meili, I'll leave the boat to you. Meili nodded obediently. Then the two of them got off the boat and left. Just after they left, many sneaky people appeared around them. Unexpectedly, I met the Straw Hat Pirates here. I counted everyone off the boat and there was no one on their boat. Boss, do it. This is a rare opportunity to make a fortune. There should be a lot of good stuff on the Straw Hat Pirates ship, and I heard that their pirate ship can fly. Just selling the ship would be a huge sum of money. Boss. Don't hesitate, brothers are waiting for you. Shut up, everyone. Am I the boss or you are the boss? The boss yelled, and his younger brother immediately calmed down. He was also very entangled. After doing this, he can live a stable life in the future and never have to do such head-breaking things. But if it fails, then you don't need to think about the consequences. You can know the consequences. With one last gritted teeth, he said, move quickly. Use the fastest speed to find the treasure on the ship. The ship cannot be moved. If it moves, people will die. The pirate ship of the Straw Hats is not something we can eat. Now that you know the boss, don't worry, the brothers are all professionals. Brothers, come on. After receiving the boss's order, the subordinates immediately started to take action. These people moved very fast and climbed onto the Wanli Sunshine in 3 clicks. This ship is really handsome and luxurious. Nonsense, this is the Straw Hat Pirates, one of the 5 emperors. Stop talking nonsense, move quickly, take the treasure and leave. Boss. There's a little girl. Why is there a little girl on this boat? The boss was shocked. He had never heard that the Straw Hats had little girls. There were only 3 women in total. He watched them all leave. Are you here to steal something? Meili asked. Little sister, Why are you here? Where is your family? The boss asked quickly. Is he really afraid that this little girl has anything to do with the Straw Hat Pirates? My family are all going out to play, will you come and play with me? Meili asked innocently. Okay, then tell your uncle first, where are the treasures on this ship? The boss tried his best to keep his tone calm. All the treasures are with me. I will give them to you if you play with me. Meili said as she waved her hand. A lot of gold and silver jewelry appeared on the plywood. Waved her hand again, and the gold and silver jewelry disappeared. Those who can. Cold sweat suddenly broke out on the boss's forehead. What ability? Meili tilted her head, with a puzzled look on her face, as if she didn't know at all. Boss, it seems that this child was forgotten on the ship by the Straw Hats. If we capture this child, won't the treasure belong to us? Yes, this little girl is so cute and can be sold for a lot of money. The subordinate whispered in the boss's ear. Children, what game do you want to play? Uncles play with you. The boss said with a smile. Very good. Meili jumped up happily, thought for a while and said, Uncle, you stand in a row, stand upright, and then the person behind puts his hand on the shoulder of the person in front. Is that so? The boss stood at the front, and all the younger brothers were behind him. More than a dozen people lined up in a long queue. Uh-huh. Meili nodded, stand up straighter in the back. Okay. The boss asked quickly. All right. There was a smile on Meili's face. After the boss saw this smile, he felt something was wrong. Meili raised her little hand and stretched out a finger. Breaking path 4, White Thunder. The fingertips cast a thunder and lightning, running straight through the entire row of people. These people who wanted to steal the treasure kept shaking and twitching, and their whole bodies were smoking. They fell neatly to the ground. At that time. Big Tree number 13, Rip-Off Bar. The interesting person you mentioned is not here, right? Jinbei looked at the sign of the bar with a strange expression on his face. You'll find out later. Bai said and was about to enter. Suddenly. Seeing and Wen's Haki felt something flying over. He quickly turned sideways to avoid it. Bang! A figure fell next to the two of them. I'm sorry that a guest is here. Please come in quickly. Xiaqi's face immediately showed a smile. It's okay, just give me a glass of wine. Bye. Yu smiled slightly and walked into the bar. After Xiaqi turned around, she frowned and glanced at Rayleigh sitting in the corner. After entering the bar, a smile appeared on her face again. What would you like to drink, handsome boy? Xiaqi said with a smile on her face. Anyway, if you treat me, I can drink whatever you want. I'm mainly here to meet people. Bai said and turned to look at Lei Li. It's closed today, everyone, let's go. Xiaqi's expression changed, and she immediately walked out of the bar and started to drive away the customers. Although the customers were not satisfied, they did not dare to say anything. After all, the man who was just beaten away was a pirate captain with a bounty of 20 million belly. Sitting in the corner, Rayleigh stood up and walked slowly towards the bar. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 104. Did you hear that? The Straw Hat Pirates are recruiting. What? Didn't they go to the New World? What do you know? The Straw Hat Pirates are now called the Fifth Emperor. How can they enter the New World without any subordinates? What are you waiting for? Why don't you sign up yet? Do you think anyone can join the Straw Hat Pirates? Only big pirates with a bounty of over 100 million are eligible to apply, and even if they apply, they may not be approved. A reward of over 100 million is required to be eligible to apply. Straw Hat Pirates? How arrogant! I want to see if it's really that strong. Suddenly a discordant voice sounded. The people who were discussing all looked in the direction of the sound. Eustace Kid. The person who just discussed, his eyes widened. Where do you think the Straw Hat Pirates recruit people? Kid said coldly. Here, in the big tree No. 16. Then let me go meet the Straw Hats for a while. After Kid finished speaking, he ignored these people and turned around and went straight to the big tree number 16. At this time, the Straw Hats taking off while playing in Shampoo Land. Zoro, Sanji, let's compete. Luffy shouted excitedly while riding his bubble car. Luffy, your injury is not healed yet. Let's go. Before Chopper could finish what he said, the bubble car flew out like a rocket. Chopper was so frightened that he screamed loudly and hugged Luffy tightly. Green Algae Head, don't keep up. Sanji said and rushed out quickly. Stinky Chef. I'll kill you sooner or later. Sauron gritted his teeth and started to speed up. After a moment. Are you still comparing yourself to me with this little strength? Zoro looked proud when he saw Luffy and Sanji disappear. He picked up a bottle of wine. Gilug gilug. Downed half the bottle in one breath. Invincible is so lonely, it seems like I'm at the beach, let's go fishing. Zoran rode his bubble car and landed at the beach. On the other side, Sanji also discovered that Zoro was missing. It's over, that road idiot is lost again. Sanji covered his face, feeling very helpless. He would be lost if he followed them, Luffy, Zoro. Halfway through his words, he realized that Luffy was also missing. Forget it, let's go buy ingredients first. Sanji was helpless. With 2 road warriors, he felt really tired. At that time, the rip-off bar. You are, Pluto really. Jinbei was really frightened. This is a legendary pirate. Unexpectedly, he is actually in the Shampoo Islands. What really? You have mistaken the person Jinbei. This is Laolei, the coding master from the Chambord Islands. He is very skilled in craftsmanship. Is he Laolei? Bye. You said with a smile. Ha ha ha, yes, I am Laolei who specializes in coding. You can rest assured that my craftsmanship is the best. Riley laughed. Laolei. Jinbei was a little confused at this moment. He even wondered if he had recognized the wrong person. Call me Laolei, kind. Riley had a smile on his face. Laolei, do you think there is any difference between the Overlord colored entanglement and the armed colored entanglement? Baiyu said his problem very directly. The Overlord's domineering energy is difficult to control. It is not easy to condense and entangle it. If you want to understand it, you must cultivate the other 2 types of domineering energy to an extremely high level. Riley didn't hide anything and answered immediately. Xiaoqi and Jinbei on the side were completely confused. Didn't these 2 people just meet? I just learned the basics of Haki from Garp. The other 2 colors of Haki are fine, but I can barely control this Haki of the Overlord color now, but I still can't be as comfortable as you. Baiyu said and used the Overlord color domineering force. You are trying to force control. This is wrong. You should be like this. Laolei, your skills are really good. As I get older and have experienced more, I know a little bit about everything. Come on, I'll invite you to Happy Street. That's great. You are such a good person. By the way, what is your name? My name is. The 2 of them were not simply chatting, but competing for dominance. At the same time, Lei Li is also teaching Baiyu how to control domineering. That's enough for you too. Xiaoqi shouted angrily and interrupted the 2 people. If he didn't interrupt the 2 people, his bar would be demolished. And Xia, don't be angry. This is the repair fee for the bar. I'll borrow your old Lei first. Baiyu took out a stack of Baileys and placed them on the bar, then pulled Lei Li away. That, I'll say goodbye to. Stop. You are not allowed to leave until Rayleigh comes back. Xiaoqi called Jinbei directly. Cold sweat broke out on Jinbei's forehead. He seemed to understand why Bai Yu brought him here. Bai Yu, what is your purpose? Riley asked seriously. So what was your purpose on board Roger's ship in the first place? Bai Yu smiled. No wonder we get along, ha ha ha. Riley laughed. Come on, let's go to Happy Street. Bai Yu said with a smile. I have no money. Riley took out his 2 trouser pockets, and they were cleaner than his face. I have. Bai Yu put his hand into his pocket and found that the money was gone. Then he remembered that the pile of 100,000 Baileys had just been given to Xiaoqi. Otherwise, let's go to the auction house and sell it. You should be able to get a good price. Lila looked at Bai Yu and said. Bai Yu's face darkened. Although he knew what Lei Li meant, these words made people think too much. However, selling yourself seems to be quite interesting. That's interesting. Do you often do this? Bai Yu looked at Lei Li. Sometimes I ran out of money to drink, and Xiaoqi wouldn't give me any money, so she had to sell herself to get some money for drinks. As she got older, the money she sold each time became less and less. Riley sighed. Since you are so familiar, let's go, but I also have to change something, otherwise no one will dare to ask me. Bai Yu's face changed as he spoke. He didn't want others to know about him. The 2 of them quickly walked to the auction house. Lei Li knew the place well. After a few words, he sold himself for 50,000 Baileys. Because Bai Yu was young and handsome, the boss directly offered a price of 100,000 Bailey. The 2 of them took the wine they had sold themselves to, sat in the waiting area and started drinking. The slaves waiting to be auctioned all looked at the 2 of them. They wanted to die. But these 2 guys are drinking and chatting there. They are also slaves, why are you 2 so showy? I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 105. The auction is in full swing. One slave after another was auctioned off. The auctioneer was already smiling from ear to ear. Because of the recent problems in the Navy, their business here is extremely good. There are countless slaves of all races, and they are all of high quality. In the past month, I have made more money than in the past year. What he didn't know was, the safe where he kept the auction money has been opened. Isn't this money too little? Bai Yu frowned when he looked at the cash that was less than 100 million Baileys. He thought there would be a lot more. It's quite a lot. It would be nice if other auction houses had a few million Baileys. Riley had a smile on his face. This time he didn't have to worry about not having enough money for drinks for a long time. I'll leave it all to you. You probably won't be able to do this business of selling yourself for much longer. Bai Yu couldn't help but want to laugh when he looked at Rayleigh. This is the retirement life of the Pirate King's captain. An old drunkard who can sell himself for a drink. If you talk too much and can't hide it, Xiaoqi will find out. Riley shook his head. Private money is not so easy to hide. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so miserable. Let's go out first, I feel like it's very lively outside. Bai Yu was not polite to Lei Li, and this little money was not taken seriously by him. Lei Li nodded. Anyway, he drank the wine, stole the money, and had nothing to do. At this time, the auction house had entered climax. Because the slaves being auctioned are female mermaids. Mermaids have always been the best-selling and most expensive slaves. 500 million. The Tianlong people shouted directly. The whole place fell silent instantly. Not to mention that few people could come up with the money. Even if they could, ordinary nobles would not dare to bid with the Tianlong people. I feel like we came out early. Bai Yu walked out from behind the stage and glanced at the mermaid locked in the glass jar. You went to the wrong door. Riley said helplessly. It doesn't matter whether it's the front door or the back door, as long as you can get in. Speaking of which, this mermaid is really beautiful. No wonder so many people are willing to buy it. Bayou waved his hand and began to look at the mermaid. He was really curious. After all, this was the first time he saw a real mermaid. Why do I feel this is weird, but I can't find what's wrong with it? Riley's face looked strange. You old man has a lot on your mind. Bayou smiled, he didn't mean anything else. Why did you come out? The auctioneer's eyes widened. How could he not recognize these two people? After all, there are still too few people selling themselves, no, almost none. I came out right after I drank the wine. Did I really wait for you to sell it? Bayou looked like a fool. He believed that he was selling himself. He really wanted to make money and wanted to go crazy. Who among ordinary people would sell themselves? Despicable low-class people. Bang. The Tianlong people shot Bayou. Shoot me, do you want to die? Bayou looked at the Tianlong people with murderous intent. What is that look in your eyes? You inferior. The words are not finished yet. A bolt of lightning instantly penetrated the bubble hood and penetrated the Tianlong man's eyebrows. Plop. Tianlong fell straight to the ground. The whole place fell silent for an instant. The silence was terrifying. The sky, the dragon, the human, are dead. Run. After a brief silence, everyone in the auction house ran wildly outside. The Tianlong people were killed, and the admiral of the Navy headquarters will definitely appear. If you don't run now, you will be implicated to death. Brother Charles. Lowly human beings. How dare you kill? Poof, thunder flashed. Black smoke was rising from the Tianlong man's eyebrows, and blood was flowing from the back of his head. Killing one is still killing, killing two or three makes no difference. Moreover, in Bayou's eyes, these stupid pigs wearing hoods are the lowest human beings. The female Draco fell to the ground in fright. May I have your name? Bayou looked at the mermaid girl in the glass jar and asked. My name is Kemi. Kemi was very scared. She had never seen such a terrifying human being. The dragon killer didn't even blink. Kemi. Bayou was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that it was this mermaid. Kemi. With a loud roar, an octopus, no, octopus Zioba rushed in. Raleigh. Zioba. Lila and Zioba were both stunned for a moment. Then Zioba saw the two dead draconians on the ground and the frightened female draconian. His whole body felt bad. The cold sweat on his forehead seemed to be raining down. Falling. Papago, who was standing on Zioba, was so frightened that he fell to the ground. You're not dead. Bayou was also a little surprised. The fishman's vitality is really tenacious. He could survive being penetrated through the heart. Zioba didn't recognize Bayou. Recognize it now. Bayou restored his true colors. It's you. Zioba's eyes widened, his legs softened, and he sat on the ground. How is this going? Riley asked very puzzledly. This guy used to do evil things with Aaron in the East China Sea, and I beat him up. Bayou didn't hide it either. Sorry about Dong Hai. I already know I was wrong, and I have nothing to say if you kill me, but please let Kemi go, he is innocent. Xiao Ba knelt on the ground and kowtowed to admit his mistake, hoping that Bayou would let Kemi go. Let her go? Why should I let her go? Bayou also found it a little funny. He didn't plan to do anything to Kemi. How on earth are you willing to let Kemi go? Xiao Ba clenched his fists and shouted loudly. If you beg me, maybe I will consider it. Bye. You said with a smile. I beg you. Okay, Zioba, he's teasing you. Lei Li said from the side, Xiao Ba is my savior. Although he did something wrong, his heart is not bad. Just let him go for my sake. Well, I'll give you some face. Bayou had no intention of taking action against Zioba and Kemi. Thank you, Mr. Riley. Thank you, Mr. Bayou. Thanks. Xiaobie cried excitedly. Okay, take Kemi to Xiaqi's place to hide for a while until the Navy Admiral arrives. Riley shook his head, very helpless. He really regretted coming out with Bayou. It was quite fun at first, sell yourself and steal some money, how happy you are. Now it's better, kill the Tianlong people and provoke the Navy. General. His identity will not be preserved by then. Analu. Bayou shouted. Thunder and lightning flashed, and Analu appeared in front of Bayou. You had so much fun, why didn't you take me with you? Analu looked at Bayou with an unhappy look on his face. Do you like to play this too? Bayou discovered that Analu had changed. Where had the cold god gone? Huh. Analu snorted. You take this woman away first, as compensation for you. Bayou pointed at the female celestial dragon on the ground. Too ugly. Don't want. Analu looked disgusted. Bayou, don't make this matter too big. Riley said quickly from the side. It's okay, nothing serious. Bayou waved his hand. The only naval admiral who can come now is Kizaru. The world government's CP0 has also been almost completely destroyed. Could it be that for the sake of two Tianlong people, the 5 old stars would personally take action? Even if the world government has other general-level battles, he is not afraid of force. Don't the celestial dragons like slaves? He will sell a celestial dragon slave this time. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 106. New Navy Headquarters. King Z sat in the marshal's seat. Looking at a table full of documents, he is really one head and too big. Bayou was scolded all over in his heart. If Bayou hadn't killed Akainu, how could he be in this position? Bulub bulub. The voice of the phone bug rings. Green Pheasant. How did you become a marshal? The celestial dragons were actually killed in the Shampoo Islands. You kill all the pirates in Shampoo Land immediately. The angry voice of Cyborg Kong came from the phone. The Tianlong people were killed. Ching Pheasant frowned. According to the intelligence, it was a young man and an old man. The old man was probably the deputy of Pirate King Roger, Pluto Rayleigh. Cyborg Kong said again. I understand, I will ask Porisalino to take someone there. King Z also knows the seriousness of the matter. The celestial dragons are dead, and if the world government doesn't take some action, then no one will dare to kill the celestial dragons in the future. This is so scary, even Tianlong people dare to kill them. Who are they? Kizaru said from the side. I don't know either, but it's probably related to Pluto Rayleigh. Please run away first. The warship will arrive shortly. The Chambord Islands should be cleaned up. King Z clenched his fists. During this period of time, he has been stabilizing the inside of the Navy and has no time to deal with the outside world. This has led to the current situation. Now that the internal affairs of the Navy have been basically completed, the only thing left is to recruit troops from all over the world. Clean up the pirates. Since something happened in Shampoo Land, let's start cleaning up from Shampoo Land. After cleaning up the Grand Line, it's the turn of the New World. Okay, Marshal Ching Pheasant. Kizaru said, and then turned into golden light and disappeared. Chambord Islands. News of the killing of the Tianlong people quickly spread on the island. What a crazy person did this. Damn it. Run. Otherwise, the general will be here soon. My boat hasn't been coated yet, how can I leave? If you don't care about so many things, let's run away first. The pirates were preparing to escape. Facing the admiral, they had only one choice, and that was to run. Not everyone has the strength to fight against the admiral. At this time, the recruitment scene of the Straw Hat Pirates. The Navy Admiral is here. Straw Hat Boss. What should we do? What are you afraid of? The Straw Hat Boss is someone who can even kill a general. Yes, our Vice Captain Bayou can also fight against the general. We also have the new world's greatest swordsman, Lord Zorro. We are the Straw Hat Pirates. How could you be afraid of a mere general? A group of subordinates shouted loudly. And several people standing on the high platform were shaking all over. Boss, the admiral is coming, what should we do? What can be done? There are so many people here. If we leave now, we will be in trouble. When the general comes, let these people get in first, and we can take advantage of the chaos to escape. Really, I really don't know which lunatic killed the celestial dragon at this time, otherwise we would have formed a super powerful pirate group. Okay, kids, what's there to be afraid of from a mere general? Let's get ready to go to the new world. The fake Luffy shouted loudly. However, except for the hat, there is no resemblance. These people actually choose to believe that their IQ is seriously in arrears. Is this guy Straw Hat Luffy? Kid, who came over, saw the fake Luffy on the stage and frowned. It seems that someone has faked it. Trafalgar Law also rushed over. It turned out to be false. Hawkins held the playing cards in his hand and said without raising his head. You are really brave. You dare to pretend to be the Straw Hats. Is it because you don't want to die quickly enough? Dacre shook his head. He dared to pretend to be the fifth emperor of the Straw Hats. He really thought that his life was too long. Not to mention whether the Straw Hats would pursue the case, and the Navy would not let the Straw Hats go, right? Really, I thought I could really see the Straw Hats. Chiao Alaboni said and turned around to leave. Sanji, are they talking about me? Said Luffy, who was hiding in the crowd. Fool! Aren't you allowed to speak? Sanji knocked Luffy on the head. You two, keep your voices down. Dang! Dang! Nami roared and knocked the two of them unconscious. But this roar also attracted everyone's attention. Everyone glanced at Luffy and the others, and then looked at the fakes on the stage. Goods. You can tell the authenticity immediately. The real Straw Hats? Wrong. So who are this group of people? Where are people? Those crooks are gone. Damn it. He was cheated. However, since they are all here, we are not fooled in vain. All the pirates immediately looked at Luffy and the others. Straw Hat Luffy, we came here because of your reputation. Now that those liars have escaped, then you can accept us. Good. Straw Hat, no, Captain. Take us in. If you don't accept us, you are our enemy. These pirates shouted again. I reject. Luffy shouted simply. He doesn't want anyone, at least none of these people can catch his eye. And now he feels that the crew is enough. Unless he meets some fun and interesting people. At this moment, a golden light appeared. It's really scary to have so many pirates gathered here. A lewd voice sounded. Big, General Kizaru. Run. When the pirates saw Kizaru's figure, they immediately ran away. If you don't run at this time, you'd be a fool. 8-foot Megatama. Kizaru jumped into the sky, and dense light bombs fell like a heavy rain. A large number of pirates fell instantly. The supernovas were also frightened and ran away. Don't even think about running. PX4. Catch them. Jean Momomaru, with 4 pacifists behind him, immediately hunted down the escaping pirates. Uncle Kizaru! Luffy shouted. The scene was quiet for a moment. Luffy's identity has been exposed long ago. the grandson of the naval hero Garp and the son of the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Dragon. Now he is called Uncle Kizaru. Jean Momomaru frowned wrinkled, he couldn't help but think of the recent rumors. Kizaru's face turned dark instantly, and he gritted his teeth and looked at Luffy. Kid. Don't scream. I didn't scream. You told me that you are my uncle. Luffy said very honestly. You, this bastard. Kizaru clenched his fists, just in time to see Hawkins sitting there playing poker, and he hadn't left yet. Without thinking, he appeared in front of Hawkins in an instant. Bang! It was a direct kick, and Hawkins flew out directly. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 107. Hawkins had no idea that Kizaru would suddenly attack him. Just as he struggled to stand up, 2 scarecrows fell out of him. Before he could react, the laser beam penetrated his body again. And his crew members fell one after another, all becoming his victims. Not good. You're going to die if you continue like this. Hawkins quickly turned into a scarecrow, preparing to fight back. Speed is power, have you ever been kicked by light? Kizaru's voice rang in his ears. Before he could react. Bang! The whole person flew out. He fell to the ground, and 2 scarecrows emerged from the body. Bang! Gendarmerie, I leave this guy to you. Kizaru kicked Hawkins to Jean Momomaru's side. Then he appeared in front of Drake, APU, and others. One bite was terrifying, and one kick was a supernova, except for Luffy and the others. Several people took action. Let's go quickly before he attacks us yet. Nami said quickly. Hue and run away. Jean Doan shouted and rushed forward with an axe on his shoulder. Railgun. Nami bounced a coin out. Boom. Jean Momoan flew out upside down. Uncle. We walked. Goodbye. Luffy shouted and waved goodbye. Kizaru looked at the smile on Luffy's face, and his face was darker than the bottom of the pot. 8-foot Megatama. Kizaru couldn't bear it any longer and launched an attack directly. However, Luffy and the others were all proficient in haki, and Kizaru did not attack with all his strength, so everyone easily hid. However, this scene was not seen by the others. His eyes changed. He hit us so accurately, but he couldn't hit the Straw Hats? Who believes that it doesn't matter? And Luffy called Uncle so affectionate, how could it be fake? Luffy, is Kizaru really your uncle? Sanji even doubted whether it was true. I don't know. You told me that whenever I see Kizaru from now on, I will call him uncle. How does Luffy know this? Anyway, he believes that you will not harm him. At this moment, the sky is covered with dark clouds and a violent storm rises. Kizaru looked up to the sky and frowned. Click! Violent thunder and lightning fell from the sky. Directly. It hit the pacifist's body. Boom. The pacifist exploded immediately. Damn it! Who is he? Gendarmerie looked at the destroyed pacifist and felt heartbroken. The cost of building a pacifist is equivalent to a warship. Kizaru, long time no see. How is your life in the Navy? The dragon appeared in front of Kizaru, his tone was like seeing a friend he hadn't seen for many years. Leader of the Revolutionary Army. Dragon. How come he is here? Are the rumors true? What rumor? Idiot, it has been rumored recently that General Kizaru may be an undercover agent of the Revolutionary Army, and now the world government is also investigating. No wonder Straw Hat Luffy calls him Uncle Kizaru, it would make sense if he was undercover. Boom. Kizaru fired a laser beam angrily, blowing away all those who spoke. You're so angry, I'll give you some rainwater to calm you down. After Long's words fell, it started to rain on Kizaru's head. Dragon. You bastard. Kizaru was furious instantly and turned into golden light and rushed towards the dragon. Don't be angry, Am I here? Ryu apologized apologetically while resisting Kizaru's attack. In the eyes of others, this scene seemed like a friend who hadn't seen him for many years was losing his temper and having a bad temper, and then another person was comforting him. It's all right. What a gay scene. I'm not angry at all, I just want to kill you bastard. Kizaru was about to explode with anger. Boom. The big tree in Jampu fell down. Kizaru, if we continue to fight, Xiongbo land will be destroyed, so let's stop here. As Long said that, he took a step back and stopped attacking. His purpose of coming to Kizaru has been achieved, and there is no point in continuing the fight. Dragon, was it the celestial dragon you killed? Kizaru asked. In this world, there are not many people who dare to go against the celestial dragons. The one in front of me is the boldest one. If we talk about killing celestial dragons, this guy must be the number one person. Those stupid pigs were killed? That's really great. Long quickly clapped his hands and applauded. I killed the Tianlong people. Bai Yu dragged the female Tianlong Gren over. Celestial dragons. Kizaru was also frightened when he saw the celestial dragon being dragged to the ground by Bai Yu. Even if he killed the celestial dragon, he actually dragged the celestial dragon to the ground like a slave. You kid is crazier than me. Long was also a little surprised. Bai Yu, why are you dragging such an ugly guy with you? Luffy ran over quickly. The celestial dragon who just woke up spat out a mouthful of blood when he heard Luffy's words and fainted again. This ugly thing is very valuable. Bai Yu smiled. There is only one Tianlong slave in the world. How can it not be valuable? Valuable? How much is it worth? Nami's eyes immediately turned into Pele, but she recovered with a jolt. She sounded that this person seemed to be a celestial dragon. I don't know how much it's worth, it depends on how much the world government is willing to pay. Bai Yu looked at Kizaru with a smile, do you think so, Luffy's uncle? Bai Yu, you bastard. Do you know what you are doing? Kizaru was so angry that his mouth was twisted, even though his mouth was not straight in the first place. It seems that you don't really want it, Long, the world's first Draco slave. If you want it, it might be of great use. Bai Yu said with a smile. Want? Why not? I want it no matter how much. Long shouted quickly. With this draconian bargaining chip, he can completely negotiate with the world government. In exchange for his partner, Bartholomew Bear. You two lunatics. Kizaru regretted it very much. If he had known that it was Bai Yu who killed the Tianlong people, he would not have come at all. When he goes back, he will punish the person who passed the information. Is this an unknown pirate? Okay, Uncle Luffy, you go back. Bai Yu waved his hand, looked at Long and said, let's go to the boat to talk. You and your son also have a lot to say, right? Master, are we just going to let them go? Gendarmerie came to Kizaru's side. What else can be done? I don't dare to take action easily when these two terrifying guys join forces, and the other members of the Straw Hats are also very scary beings. Kizaru sighed. The fighting power of the Straw Hats is too high. And now that the Navy is severely weakened, it is completely unrealistic to deal with the Revolutionary Army and the Straw Hats at the same time. This situation is not something that he can handle alone. Let's leave it to Ching Pheasant. Who made him the marshal? I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 108. Wanli Sunshine. All members of the Straw Hats looked at Luffy and his son. They are really curious about the father and son. Are you my dad? Luffy looked at the dragon in confusion. The dragon nodded and said nothing. Who is my mother? Long frowned and looked at Bai Yu. Look at what I'm doing, I'm not his mother. Bai Yu said angrily. He found that in the pirate world, none of the biological fathers were competent. On the contrary, the godfathers were very competent. Whitebeard was to Ace, Zep was to Sanji, Kao's hero was to Zoro, and Kurane was against Luffy, etc. These people are better than his biological father. Even Ryu himself is stronger against Sabo than Luffy. Luffy, since you have chosen this path, as a father I will support you unconditionally, but there are some things I can't tell you yet. After you become the Pirate King, I will tell you everything, including your mother's death, identity and whereabouts. Long looked at Luffy with a somewhat guilty look. But Bayu's eyes lit up. If Long said this, Luffy's mother might still be alive. Is it that kind of bloody plot? This also completely aroused Bayu's emotions. Curiosity. Is Sob at your place? Luffy is not caring about this. Do you know Sob? Long asked very strangely. Sabo is a sworn brother to me and Ace. Luffy said immediately. So that's it, I get it. Long nodded and said I will ask him to come over to see you after I go back. Well, is Sob powerful now? Luffy asked again. Sabo is now the General Staff Officer of the Revolutionary Army, and his strength is inferior to that of a naval admiral. Long said very proudly. After all, he handed it over with his own hands. That's great. When Sabo comes, I will definitely fight him. Luffy immediately became excited when he thought that he would see Sabo soon. Don't you have anything to ask me? Long's face looked strange. When father and son meet, shouldn't they talk about the things between father and son? When are you leaving? Luffy asked immediately. Long almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. Okay, Luffy has never shown his face once in his life. It would be great if Luffy could recognize you. If it were me, I would have punched you. Bayou hasn't finished speaking yet. Boom. Is this true for Bayou? Luffy looked at Bayou and said. Damn it, Bayou, you bastard. Long covered the face that was beaten by his son and looked at Bayou angrily. It's not me who beat you. If you vent your anger on your son, I won't coddle you. Bayou's face turned cold. Do you really think he can talk easily with a smile? Okay, give me this female celestial dragon, I'm leaving. Long sighed, stood up and prepared to leave. 20 superhuman devil fruits. Bayou had a smile on his face. How could he give away the only celestial dragon slave in the world for nothing? What? Long's eyes widened, thinking he heard wrongly. Your revolutionary army can't even get 20 devil fruits. The smile on Bayou's face disappeared and he frowned. 20 pills, that's not 2 pills. Long shouted loudly. He has seen lions open their mouths, but he has never seen one so cruel. 20 devil fruits are not 20 carrots. It seems that you don't want to do this business, so I'd better contact Aokiji. I think the world government will be very willing to give out 20 devil fruits. After all, they have given them out before. Bayou shrugged and took out Ching Pheasant's phone bug. Wait a minute. Can we be less careful? Our revolutionary army is not a world government and we are not that wealthy. Long immediately surrendered. He knew that Bayou would really do this. Less is impossible, but for Luffy's sake, I can let you pay in installments, but with a little interest. Bayou smiled and put away the phone bug. Installment? What kind of installment method? Long asked doubtfully. You can give me 20 devil fruits in 5 or 10 installments. One installment is 1 month. If you pay off the 5 installments, it will be regarded as the interest of 1 devil fruit. If it is 10 installments, it will be 2 devil fruits as interest. Bayou's face was full of smiles. He was not afraid that Long would default on his debt. You shouldn't be a pirate. You should be a businessman. Long said through gritted teeth. So should you choose 5 issues or 10 issues? Bayou doesn't care at all, as long as there are benefits. 5 issues. At that time. Holy Land Marijoya. Wilaoxing Conference Room. Immediately order the Navy and all CP agencies to hunt down the Straw Hats with all their strength. That Bayou dared to challenge the authority of the world government and must be cleaned up. Don't forget the strength of the Straw Hats. Without general-level combat power, they cannot pose any threat to them. Garp the bastard. If your son is not well educated, your grandson will also be poorly educated. Now we must first rescue the captured Shalalia Palace and minimize the impact of this incident. It would be troublesome if it got into the hands of a dragon. No, it's okay if it's in the hands of Long, but it's the real trouble if it's in the hands of that Bayou. Yes, if it is in Long's hands, he will still negotiate with us. If it is in Bayou's hands, the face of the Tianlong people will not be saved. Now what? Should we just let that Bayou continue to be rampant? Wait until he gets to the New World. The New World is very dangerous. We should also investigate Kizaru's matter carefully. Although it is unlikely, we should still be careful. His recent behavior is indeed strange. A sneeze. Kizaru from the Navy headquarters sneezed. This damn Bayou. Kizaru hated Bayou in his heart. Hatings have never been better since meeting Bayou. Now both the Navy and the world government suspect that he is an undercover agent of the Revolutionary Army. He is really aggrieved, he is really not an undercover agent. Kizaru, please run away about the world conscription. Ching Pheasant said. Ching Pheasant, don't you have anyone else to use you? Call me for everything. Kizaru said, very dissatisfied. Now you are the only general, or else you will be the marshal and I will be the general. Ao Pheasant is also very helpless. If anyone needs help, he will not ask Kizaru. As for Sengoku and Garp, he can't call him at all. Counselor, he is very helpful, but he is so old and he is not good. Let the old man run around. So only Kizaru. Kizaru. These two people are busy as dogs. But the two old guys, Garp and Sengoku, went fishing in a warship. Anyway, the two of them are now semi-retired. Don't worry about anything, completely give up on yourself. Warring states. You old bastard. You stole my senbei again. Garp roared angrily. The Navy soldiers on the warship were immediately startled. Don't be so stingy, you've stolen from me a lot before, now I just get back a little interest, I'm catching fish. Warring states quickly grabbed the fishing rod as thick as a big tree and pulled hard. Then a figure fell on the boat. Black lines appeared on Warring states' forehead. He thought he had fallen into a fish. Then he could get out of the boat. Garp won 10 bags of senbei. It turned out to be a human being. Garp was also stunned. Because the man caught during the Warring States period turned out to be Blackbeard. Can a bounty criminal be caught just by catching a fish? The soldiers on the warship quickly took out Halashi handcuffed Blackbeard. Warring States and Garp immediately became taller in the eyes of these soldiers. Originally they thought these two old guys were letting themselves go. But they didn't expect that they were here to catch the rewarded criminal. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 109. Shamboard Islands. Wanli Sunshine has been coded. Rayleigh also personally taught everyone how to use haki. Because the Navy was hunting down pirates in Champu, they had to leave early. Uncle Rayleigh, please join our pirate team. Luffy issued an invitation loudly. I'm old and don't have as much energy to take risks as you do, thank you for the invitation. Riley smiled slightly. What a shame, see you then. Luffy isn't forcing it either. Goodbye, hope I can see you again. There was a smile on Rayleigh's face, and he waved goodbye to the Straw Hats. Why can't you let go? It's not too late if you agree now. Xiaoqi appeared next to Lei Li. I wish these annoying brats would leave early. How could I accompany them to cause mischief? Riley quickly shook his head in denial, his desire to survive was extremely strong. That's right, after they leave, you can secretly go to Happy Street. Xiaoqi looked at Lei Li with a smile. Xiaoqi, listen to my explanation, that guy Baiyu said nonsense. I didn't go to Happy Street. Haha, if you give me 55 million Baileys, I will believe you. Otherwise, you should go and continue to be pirates with the straw hats. Xiaoqi sneered, not listening to Lei Li's explanation at all. 55 million. Lila immediately understood. The money he and Baiyu stole from the auction house. After the two of them divided it, it was 55 million Baileys per person. Baiyu. You bastard boy. I won't let you go. Riley roared angrily, even using his domineering power. Baiyu on the pirate ship smiled slightly. If this old guy doesn't get on the ship, don't blame him. You should continue to sell yourself for wine in the future. Baiyu, what happened to Uncle Lila just now? Luffy asked doubtfully. Children should not interfere with adults' matters. Baiyu is too lazy to tell Luffy, and it's useless. There is no woman in Luffy's heart, only the Pirate King. Roger. The deep sea journey begins. Nami shouted excitedly. The Wanli Sunshine also began to sail into the seabed. Except for Jinbei, this was the first time for everyone on the ship to enter the seabed. After seeing the beautiful scenery on the seabed, they were all very excited. Wow! What a big fish! I want to eat. That's not simple. Can't it just be hacked to death? No need to bother, I can just discharge it. Dang! 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 All three of them fell to the ground. Be honest with me. Nami shouted loudly. I'm sorry. The three of them apologized in unison. The coating cannot withstand your battle. Jinbei shook his head. There was a boat approaching from behind, and there were quite a few people there. Enilu said. His current position is that of a lookout. With Enilu's ability and his domineering attitude, he is most suitable to be a lookout. Could it be those pirates who were deceived and want to find us? Nami was very worried. Just blow it off. Luffy said and was about to take action. Leave Haley to me, I just want to try new moves. Jinbei took the initiative to stand up. To fight in the water, there is no one more suitable than him. Is it a skill taught by Baiyu? Luffy's eyes suddenly lit up. Yes. Jinbei nodded and rushed out of the bubble. The straw hats? I can't beat you on the ground, but it's different in the water. Manatee. Superior. Crush them for me. Ha 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 ha. A huge manatee rushed over quickly from behind. Mau Mau. Nami recognized the manatee Momo at a glance. Who is Mau Mau? Luffy looked confused. It seems familiar. Sanji said. None of them could remember clearly. But Momo the sea cow remembered it very clearly. After all, the scene of being beaten was too unforgettable. The moment he saw a few people, he turned around and ran away in fear. Manatee. What's wrong with you? Wrong direction. Slower. The boat can no longer hold up. Damn manatees. Stop. The pirates shouted and cursed loudly. But it was of no use. Jinbei glanced at it and didn't say anything. Instead, he turned to look at the other pirate ships. Kaiksia Jinbei. How could he be on the Straw Hat cruise ship? Run! Run! When the pirates saw Jinbei, they screamed in fear and wanted to escape. But this is the deep sea. This is my world as a fishman. Water escape, great waterfall technique. Boom! All the ships were swept away instantly and disappeared. So strong. Amazing. Jinbei can also spit water. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper shouted excitedly. Baiyu, Jinbei's skills must have just been mastered not long ago. Why are they so strong? Nami asked doubtfully. Jinbei himself is a fishman, so he can only use his full strength in the water, and his skill is water escape, so it is normal for him to be powerful in the water. Baiyu opened his mouth and explained. So that's it, it's really a terrifying skill. Wouldn't Jinbei be invincible on the sea? Robin asked from the side. In some ways, it's really invincible. Baiyu thought of the water body technique. Although it is only 1/10 of the strength of the original body, it is enough to destroy any ship in the sea. Moreover, sea water is the nemesis of all capable people. Therefore, Jinbei is really invincible in some aspects. Thank you, Deputy Captain, for teaching me such a powerful skill. Jinbei returned to the ship and expressed his sincere thanks. You are welcome. Baiyu smiled slightly. Another big guy appears. Enilu frowned and saw a terrifying figure. So big. Yes, it's the legendary siren. Kraken. Kraken. Baiyu. Help. Chopper jumped in Baiyu's face in fright, and Nami and Wei also hugged Baiyu's arms. Even Robin was leaning behind Baiyu. Such a big octopus should be delicious, right? Shredded squid also goes well with wine. I want to eat squid balls. Bang bang bang. Usopp knocked the three of them to the ground. Don't mess around. If the bubble bursts, we will all die here. Give it to me. Jinbei is full of confidence now. Let me do it. This guy is good as a pet. Baiyu doesn't want to kill this guy. I want this pet too. Luffy immediately shouted loudly. I'll give it to you later when I meet you, and you can't fight now. Baiyu said and rushed out of the bubble. He has Jinbei's physique and is no different from a fishman in the water. Kulaken's huge tentacles are directly ready to attack. Be honest. Baiyu cast his overlord-colored domineering energy. Kulaken's huge body suddenly froze, and his eyes were full of fear. Don't be afraid. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done it long ago. Be my pet and take us to Fishman Island. I will give you a good fortune. Baiyu said. He knew that Kulaken could understand what he said. Kulaken nodded quickly without any hesitation. Really tamed. Amazing. Even the Kraken, can be tamed. It's getting more and more terrifying. This seems natural, right? After all, our powerful skills were all taught by the deputy captain. It seems to be the same. If any magical things happen to Baiyu, it seems to be normal. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 110. With the help of Pet Squid. The Straw Hats soon arrived at the outskirts of Fishman Island. Where are the guards in Dragon Palace City? Jinbei looked at the empty entrance and felt very surprised. There are usually strict guards here. Now there is not even a guard in sight. This is very abnormal. What's wrong, Jinbei? Luffy asked doubtfully. The entrance is open and there are no guards yet. Something may have happened to Fishman Island. Jinbei's face was solemn. No matter what happened, let's take a look first. Baiyu also felt a little strange. Logically speaking, at this time, Fishman Island is only harassed by pirates. And Whitebeard is not dead. There shouldn't be anyone who dares to deal with Fishman Island. It can only be this way. Jinbei nodded. The pirate ship successfully passed through the entrance and entered Fishman Island. Many people gathered together. Enilu's ability can easily cover Fishman Island. Where? Jinbei asked quickly. It should be in the square. It seems that something big happened on Fishman Island. Baiyu also sensed the situation on Fishman Island. He didn't expect that Hody Jones would take action 2 years in advance. Frankie, Activate flight mode and fly towards the middle of the island. Bayou immediately said. No problem, leave it to me. Frankie immediately started the flight mode, and the wind blasted the jets. The Wanli Sunshine flew out like a rocket. In the Geelong Court Square, Hody Jones caught King Neptune and all three princes. Byseen was also locked in a huge iron cage. Vanderdecken looked at Byseen with a lewd expression. His Majesty the King has been caught. What to do? It would be over if Fishman Island fell into the hands of Hody Jones. Someone come and save us. They are so powerful that they are no match for even the guards of Dragon Palace City. No one will come to save us. Hody Jones. Let go of His Majesty the King. The people of Fishman Island shouted loudly. A bunch of trash. Shut up, everyone. Today I will let you witness my execution of Neptune with your own eyes. From now on, I, Hody Jones, will be in charge of Fishman Island. We want to kill on the ground. Kill all humans and make them our slaves. Ha ha ha. I will become the most powerful pirate king in the world. Hody Jones shouted excitedly. His pale hair, blood-red eyes, and crazy laughter made the onlookers fearful and couldn't help but retreat. No one dared to speak. I am the man who wants to become the pirate king. Luffy shouted angrily. Where did the sound come from? It's in the air. There is a ship flying in the sky. Ships can actually fly. Are they the ones who come to save us? Wrong. It's a pirate ship. Human pirate ship. The Fishman Island was probably frightened when they saw it was a pirate ship. It's already a mess here, and human pirates are here too. This doesn't give them a way to survive at all. One Piece. Hody Jones looked at the landing pirate ship. A drop of water dripped from his palm. Hit the water. The water droplets flew out like bullets. Water release, water dragon bullet technique. A huge water dragon fell from the sky. Boom. The new fishmen in the square, the fishmen of the pirate group, were instantly swept away. The pirate ship landed just on top of the water flow and landed smoothly. The water slowly disappeared, and Luffy jumped off the pirate ship. You said you want to be the pirate king. Jinbei. Hody Jones ignored Luffy. In his opinion, Luffy was just a little brat. Hody Jones. What are you doing? Jinbei shouted angrily. He never thought that it was Hody Jones who caused the commotion. Asshole. I'm asking you a question. Luffy is very angry, and the consequences will be serious. You, a brat like you, want to become the pirate king. Hody Jones looked disdainful. Another drop of water appeared on his palm, and he waved it out. Hit the water. Luffy tilted his head and easily dodged it. One Piece. It's enough for me. Luffy clenched his fists tightly, and his gauze-wrapped arms were wrapped with a domineering aura. Luffy, you can't fight now. Chopper shouted loudly. Although Luffy's condition is almost healed now, it is still very dangerous if he fights, and there is a possibility of recurrence at any time. Luffy, don't open the 8-gate Dungia, be careful. Bayou knew that he couldn't stop this, he could only ask Luffy to pay attention. Even if he said it, it would be in vain. He didn't want to care anymore. He was going to rescue Xiao by seeing. Jinbei is back. He has come to save us. Very good. Jinbei. Down with Hody Jones. Rescue His Majesty the King. Rescue Princess Shirahoshi. The people around cheered loudly. They don't know the Straw Hats, they only know Jinbei. And they don't believe that humans will save them. Save people? Just a few of them. Ha ha ha. Hody Jones laughed. I have 100,000 fishmen here, how could it be possible for these weak humans? Boom. Before he could finish his words, Luffy punched him and flew him away. Captain Hody. The fishman pirate exclaimed. This guy, really? Zoro sighed helplessly. pulled out his knife and jumped off the boat. 100,000 people, that's terrible. Usopp was hiding in the corner and had no intention of getting off the ship. Get out and don't fight with guns. Baiyu kicked Usopp away. He came to the side of little Bai Seing. Now Bai Seing is only 14 years old. Although she is very big, she is still a loli. Beautiful. So beautiful. She is only 14 years old. That's it? How beautiful would it be if, at the age of 30, the fish tail turns into legs? Not to mention whether it has the ability to summon the Neptune type, this face alone can definitely start a war. The only drawback is that too big. Baiyu's height of 2 meters seemed too small in front of Bai Seing. Don't get close to Shirahoshi. Vanderdecken roared angrily, and threw an axe at Baiyu. Baiyu raised his hand, grabbed the axe, and squeezed it gently. Crash! The axe turned into pieces and fell to the ground. A fragment was left in his hand. Flicked his finger. Puff! It penetrated directly between Vanderdecken's eyebrows. This wretched guy, Baiyu didn't even bother to talk nonsense. Don't be afraid, little Bakesing, I'm here to save you. Baiyu smiled slightly, came to the iron cage, lifted the iron cage and threw it out. Even if he doesn't use any abilities now, his strength is no worse than that of the giants. You, how do you know me? Bai Seing looked at Baiyu nervously.